It is the most important test of President Trump's economic agenda so far. Today at the Supreme Court, justices considered the legality of the president's sweeping tariffs. The case involves the February tariffs imposed on imports from China, Mexico, and Canada, and also includes reciprocal tariffs announced on what the president called Liberation Day. A majority of the U.S. Supreme Court appeared skeptical of the emergency tariffs. Here's an exchange between Justice Amy Coney Barrett and Solicitor General D. John Sauer arguing for the administration.
Can you point to any other place in the code or any other time in history where that phrase, together, regulate importation, has been used to confer tariff-imposing authority?
Well, as to regulate importation, that was held in TWIA. So obviously, and that's...
Okay, so an intermediate appellate court held it in TWIA, but you just told Justice Kavanaugh that wasn't your lead argument, that your lead argument was this long history of the phrase regulate importation being understood to include tariff authority. So my question is, has there ever been another instance in which a statute has used that language to confer the power? Well, putting aside Yoshida.
I mean, obviously, other statutory example is just imports. The cases we rely on are cases where, for example, in Gibbons, it's Ogden and Justice Story's
But that just shows the word can be used that way. None of those cases talked about it as conferring tariff authority.
Adam White, the chairman of the Center for Individual Rights, joins me now to discuss this further. Thanks for your time. For our viewers, what's at the heart of this case?
Well, the heart of this case is a statute that was passed in 1977, the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, which gives presidents significant power over our relationship with other countries, especially in emergencies. But the question in this case is whether that statute, which lets the president regulate imports, also allows him to impose tariffs on imports.
So the law authorizes the president to regulate importation during a declared national emergency, but it does not mention tariffs, as you just explained. Following oral arguments today, any inclination as to how the justices might rule?
Well, the administration had its hands full in oral arguments today. The justices, from the very outset, had a lot of skeptical questions. You don't want to read too much into the questions at oral argument. Oftentimes, justices use the questions to test out a few theories or arguments. But here it seemed pretty clear that the odds are against the administration succeeding in upholding these tariffs through this case.
What happens if the justices rule against the president?
Well, if the justices rule against the president, it means the president can't invoke this particular statute to support tariffs. Now, there are other statutes that allow him to set tariffs. They often require more procedures than this. And so President Trump might move forward with tariffs under those statutes. There's also the question, looking backwards, if the Trump administration loses, will it have to pay refunds to so many people who have paid? Justice Barrett referred to that repeatedly as a messy situation. I don't know that the court is actually going to touch the refund issue, but it's looming in the background of all of this.
What impact will this have for future administrations?
The last 15 years, the Supreme Court has repeatedly looked skeptically on administration's most ambitious programs. In this administration, in the Biden administration, and on and on. This case struck me as the latest in that series of Supreme Court cases where I think the justices will say once again that more needs to be done through Congress than through the executive branch.
Adam White, thank you so much.
Thank you.